I think so, yeah.
And welcome to another Colin Crandall MMA Fight Picks. I'm here with my nephew, Trevor Carnes. This is another great Colin and Trevor's no BS fight stream of the upcoming UFC Fight Night. Ankalaev and Johnny Walker, those names together sound kind of familiar, don't they,
Oh
Trev? It
God.
seems almost like they just fought about 2 months ago and it ended in a no contest. But let's
That's what it felt like. I mean,
because that's what did happen, and that was definitely a disappointment to a lot of people. By the way, Happy New Year to everyone here. This will be the first of our continuing series with my nephew. 18 for now. He'll be 19 in a couple weeks, and so
oh hell yeah.
yep, he's doing an amazing job for a young man, and 19 is a great age. Anyway, 18, 19 are both amazing age. I wish I could even be 28. I'll take 38, maybe 48. Anyway, Trev, great to have you here. Let me jump in and let's take a look at some of these fights here. So, as we just mentioned, the main event, Megomed Ankalaev against Johnny Walker, and then
Oh boy.
several good fights on the rest of the card. Let's take a look at let's kind of look at the main card here. And Andrei Arlovsky is still fighting. He's got to be like 45 years old. Let's take a look here. Andrei Arlovsky is 44 years old, which essentially makes him a Generation X guy, one of the last Generation X guys on fighting in the UFC. He's incredible. He's got a record of 34-22. That's 56 fights. Former UFC champion. He started his pro MMA career, got to be like something like 25 years ago or something. Let's see. His first MMA fight was 1999. Yep, almost 25 years ago. So he is coming off he's coming off a two fight. What's that?
So that was before I was born.
That's right. Yep. Anyway, he's on a 2-fight losing streak. He lost his last couple of fights to Marcos Rogerio de Lima.
Right after my mother was born, right? But right before I was born.
That's right. That's right. And then he lost to Don Tail Mays. He is the older man by far. The man he's going up against, Waldo Cortez da Costa, Salsa Boy, fighting out of Phoenix. 12-year age difference. Acosta is coming off a 1-fight win streak, beating Lucas Brzeski. Let's see what the odds makers say on this fight. The odds makers, I think, are definitely going to favor the younger man. That is going to be Waldo Cortez Acosta. Wow. 5-1, more than 5-1. Has Waldo beaten anyone with a big name or though that's really good? Not really. I don't know about you, Trev,
I was gonna say, how the hell would I know?
Well,
I ain't got a damn clue.
Well, you have some clue, but you may not have a lot of clues. I know these aren't the highest profile fighters lately, and I know you watch more main card fighters, but in this fight, I'm gonna say I don't like the odds being so high in favor of Cortez Acosta, who's a tough young guy, but he's never really beaten big names. I don't know that Andre can win this. If he doesn't, then they're going to start talking about probably his retirement. But I think at these odds, 5-1, I think Arlovsky's got a decent chance and worth a bet. You with me on that or against me?
I'm going with you.
Yeah, because Acosta hasn't beaten anyone, and Andre keeps surprising people. He may be on a 2-fight win streak, losing streak, but before that 2-fight losing streak, he was on a 4-fight win streak. So I think he could do something, and I think you're smart to be with me on that. Okay, moving on to the next one coming up on the main card. I think that fight is going to be the main card of the prelims, and the main card, the first fight, we have Phil Hawes and Bruno Ferreira, or Ferreira, as they say in Portuguese. Phil Hawes is 34 years old. He's got a record of 12-5, 5'11", 185, fighting out of Kill Cliff, which is a really good gym in the East Coast. But Hawes has not been killing it in the UFC. He's got a record of 4-3 in the UFC, so it's still a winning record. But if he loses this, he'll be just 500. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, having been knocked out in the first round in both of his last 2 fights. That's not really a great look, although he's fought very tough guys. Let's see about the man he's fighting from Brazil. Bruno Ferreira. Ferreira is going to be the younger man. Yes, 3 years younger, the Hulk from Brazil. and he is also on a 1-fight losing streak, getting stopped. They both are just coming off first-round knockouts. How about that?
Oh
Before
yeah.
that, though, he did beat RoboCop in a very tough fight. This is an interesting fight here. I'm going to bet the odds makers are making this a close one, with maybe Hawes a slight favorite. Let's see what the answer is to that. The odds makers have Hawes as a slight underdog. Wow, this is nearly a pick 'em. This is a tough
Oh
one.
my God.
Yeah, this is a tough one, man. The Hulk is a tough dude, and is this it? Is this at 85? Yeah. I'm gonna go for Phil Hawes here, but not with a lot of confidence, to beat the Brazilian Bruno Ferreira. What do you think? With me or on Hawes, or are you gonna go the
Oh yeah,
Brazilian?
I'm with you. All right.
Yeah, you got Hawes. Yeah. I mean, it's so hard to tell though. Do you have a lot of confidence in it, or just like me, maybe just a little bit?
Um, I'd say a lot, maybe.
Do you? You
Depends
think
on.
because I think probably because the experience that Hawes has with 7 UFC
Yeah.
fights as opposed to 2 for Ferreira, right?
Yep.
Yep, experience will do it. And we're both proud Americans cheering for
Hell
USA.
yeah.
Yep, so we got to go for Hawes. All right, next fight up after that. Let's take a look. This is this. Oh, and there goes Trevor, and Trevor is now gone.
My God, my damn cameras. It wants to
All
act
right,
up.
Trevor's back. So this is the first look for all you guys watching. This is an early look. We're going to break it down in more detail probably in a week or so, but this fight is still 12 days
Hell
away.
yeah.
So this is an early look for Trevor and I. All right, Trevor, coming up to the
It's
next
the
fight.
new year, for God's sake.
It is indeed. It is indeed. Coming up to the next fight, Ricky Simone and Mario Bautista. Simone is a tough fighter, training out of Team Alpha Male, although now it looks like they show him somewhere else at American Top Team Portland. So I guess he's gone, although sometimes they're wrong. He's got a record of 20-4. He was on a 5-fight win streak until he got caught and stopped in the 5th round by Song Yadong. So he's going to want to be getting back on the winning trail. He's got a ton of UFC fights. He's 31 years old, 5'6", 135 pounds, and has 10 stoppages out of 20. So he's got a 50% finish rate, which is not that bad.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's not that bad at 135.
Yeah.
Mario
Not,
Bautista.
yeah, on
Yeah,
135. I mean,
Mario
shit, that's
Bautista. Yeah,
not as
Mario
bad.
Bautista though is a much bigger finisher than Simone. Bautista is
Yeah.
going to be a taller fighter, a year younger. He's fighting out of
Yeah.
MMA Lab, good school in Arizona, and he's on a 5-fight win streak. So it's funny, he's on a 5-fight win streak against a guy who was on a 5-fight win streak but just lost his last fight. Bautista is more of a finisher, but he does not have the same level of competition. He's fought some tough guys, but he just hasn't beat anywhere near the kind of guys that Ricky Simone's beaten. I'm going to go Ricky Simone in this one, and I have a pretty good amount of confidence. Bautista's a tough guy, but the odds, Ricky Simone is just a slight favorite, 1.5 to 1. I'm going Ricky Simone probably by stoppage or pretty convincing decision over Mario Bautista. You're going to go with me for Simone? You're going to go on Bautista?
I'm going with you.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be pretty convincing, or are you less confident than me on this one?
I don't know.
So you're a little bit less confident because Bautista is tough. I understand. And this is a tough, the odds makers even have it close. But yeah, we're both going Simone. Okay. 2 fights to go. I think it's a 2 or 3. Let me see. It's 3. Jim Miller, the legend, the man with what, 65 fights? No, he's got 50. He's got 53 fights.
What?
40 years old. I know 65 is crazy. He's 40 years old. He's been in the UFC for like almost 20 years. He's on not really a win streak. He won one. He lost before that. Then he was on a 3-fight winning streak before that. So much more experience than Benitez, whose nickname is Mowgli. But he's 5 years older at 40 to Mowgli's 35. AKA is where Benitez is training with all those killers you and me know well, Trevor. Habib Nurmagomedov, the coach there, the former champ, Islam Makhachev, both Nurmagomedovs there, Umar and Usman, and just a bunch of absolute destroyers there. Mowgli, though, has not been really destroying it in the UFC, although he is on a 1-fight win streak. You know, I like the old guy. Everyone likes the old guy, Jim Miller. He's such a tough guy. He wanted to be on UFC 300. If he wins here, maybe they'll put him on there. Even if he loses, maybe they'll put him on there. This is considered a dead even fight. You know what? Benitez is a slight favorite. I'm going to go for Jim Miller with my heart, but I wouldn't really bet any money on it. I think he can do it, but this is going to be a test for both of them. Who do you have? The Jim Miller, the 40-year-old, or Gabriel Benitez, the 35-year-old, for a slight upset?
I'm going
No,
Jim
not a slight
Miller.
upset. He's a slight favorite. I got the old guy pulling a slight upset, and I got Miller and his opponent, Gabriel Benitez. Who do you got?
I'm going with what you got, which was what, Jim Miller?
Yeah, the legend Cole. Right on. Absolutely. We're together. Surprisingly, we usually end up against each other on something, but I have a
Depending
feeling
on
that
it's depending on what Didi would say.
that's it. Absolutely. My late wife in heaven. God bless her.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think she'd go for Jim Miller because she loved watching the fights back in the day, and she remembers watching Jim Miller.
Mm-hmm.
I know up in heaven, and so she'd be cheering for Miller. So we got Miller. Okay, 2 fights left. All right, we are
That's what
looking
I'd
at.
be doing.
Yep, absolutely. We have the co-main event of the evening: Matus Nicolau and Manel Kopp. That is a good fight. Someone call the cops. Manel
Oh
Kopp is fighting.
God.
Yep.
Watch out. The cops are coming for you.
Yep,
Oh
there we
shit.
go. They're coming. Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do, right?
Oh
Yep.
God.
Matus Nicolau from Minas Gerais, Brazil, is 30 years old, 5'6", 125 pounds, fighting out of a Nova União team, and is 19-3 with 10 finishes, 5 subs, 5 knockouts. He is on a 1-fight losing streak, losing to Brandon Royval, but he was on a 6-fight winning streak before that. Very tough guy is Matus Nicolau. And 30-year-old at 5'6", 19-3 record with about a 60, 52% stoppage rate, finish rate. Manel Kopp, Starboy, the man from Angola, and he is 30 years old, also 5'6", 125. Similar record. One guy's 19-6, one guy's 19-3-1. Kopp is 19-6. Wow, though, he's got 16 finishes. That's right. Kopp is a big finisher at this flyweight weight class. Kopp is on a 4-fight win streak. And then they actually fought almost 3 years ago, and it was a split decision. One judge had it for Kopp, and 2 judges had it for Nicolau. Nicolau won the fight. Now they are fighting again after almost 3 years. Man, oh man, I don't know how to call this one. Let's take a look. Wow, they've got Manel Kopp as a pretty substantial favorite. You know, it must be because of the fact that he's been on this 4-fight win streak, whereas Nicolau did get caught by Brandon Royval. You know, I don't know on this one. This is such a tough one. Man. I mean, Nicolau was looking really good, but who else has Nicolau fought? You know, he's got a win over Tim Elliott, and who has Kopp beat? Kopp has beaten some pretty tough guys.
To be honest, I don't know, but
No, it's okay. I'm taking a look. Just let me
yeah.
You know, I don't know. I'm gonna go Nicolau to beat Manel Kopp, although I wouldn't bet anything on that. So but the value is there in the underdog, you know, but odds makers are going the other way. What do you think, Manel Kopp or Matus Nicolau?
I'm going under Kopp.
You got Kopp. That means you're against me on this one. Yep.
Hell yeah.
I like it. I think
you know sometimes I gotta go against you one of these times, Colin.
Absolutely, you have to. I totally understand that. And Kopp is the favorite. He's a tough guy. He could win this. All right, now on to the main event of the evening. Johnny Walker, the man from Brazil, with a mohawk, 6'6".
Brazil, as you said in the last one.
The Brazilian, up against the man from Dagestan. And they fought before. Ankalaev threw that knee that hit Walker in the chin when he was down on the ground. That's an illegal technique. The fight was stopped and called a no contest. Let's see how long ago that was. I think that was only like 3 months ago or even less. Let me see. That fight was October 1st. So November, December, January. Yeah, about 3 months ago. Going into that fight, Ankalaev had a draw with Jan Blachowicz, and before that, he was on a 9-fight winning streak. So he had been killing it. He is 31 years old, 6'3", 205 pounds, and out of Dagestan, Russia. Johnny Walker is going to be the same age, I think, isn't he? Yep, same age, 6'5" or 6".
So.
Yeah, Walker is the taller fighter fighting out of SBG Ireland. He was on a 3-fight win streak. You know what's interesting? The odds makers are making Ankalaev a big favorite again against Walker. I mean, there's no value in betting on Ankalaev. You're not going to make much money. But in all honesty, Walker's tough. But a lot of people have been ripping on Ankalaev because he's got one draw and one no contest in his last 2 fights. They've been saying, come on, you can't beat anybody. But before that, he won 9 fights in a row, and no one's beaten him since 6 years ago. He's a big favorite, but I do think Johnny Walker's in trouble here. I think Ankalaev is going to be tremendously motivated. And even though he's a big favorite, I'm going Megomed Ankalaev to beat Johnny Walker. What do you think?
I don't know.
You gonna take the underdog on this one, the big Brazilian?
Yep.
You got Walker. Nice. The last 2 we are against each other with
We're
Trevor.
tied 2-2 with going against each other. Oh shit.
We will see. We could both end up with the same amount of wins. But just to recap it for now, first look for everybody going back from where we were on the card here. We are together for the first few fights. My nephew Trevor and I are both on, where are we? We're both on Andrei Arlovsky. We're both on Phil Hawes. We're both on Ricky Simone. We're both on Jim Miller. I'm on Matus Nicolau, and Trevor's on Manel Kopp. I'm on Megomed Ankalaev, and Trevor is on Johnny Walker. So those are our early thoughts from there. Yep, Johnny Walker, the whiskey, the man from Brazil with the name of whiskey. Yep, Johnny Walker Red. But man, I know that I
think he's been drinking too many whiskeys.
The way he acts, usually it looks like he's been doing a lot of drinking. He's a crazy guy. And you know what's funny about this matchup, Trevor?
Just like I used to say, Colin has been drinking too many beers.
That's it, way too many beers. That's why I'm on the moon here behind me. What's interesting?
Yeah, no kidding. I'm here. I'm on the
moon
with you.
Yep, we're walking on the moon, as Sting used to say.
Oh God, we're doing the moonwalk.
Yep, there we go, the Michael Jackson moonwalk. You know what's interesting about the matchup, Trevor, between Ankalaev and Walker is you have Walker, who is this crazy, wacky guy. He's this crazy, tall, lanky guy with a crazy mohawk haircut, and his eyes get big, and he gets crazy, and he does weird stuff, and is very humorous, but also very intense. And then the other guy is just a stone cold killer. The other guy out of Dagestan, these guys were thrown into the snow at like 3 years old to wrestle for 2 hours, and the parents locked the door and not let him back in until they finish wrestling for 2 hours. So these guys are just stone killers. This guy Ankalaev, like, these guys don't let anything throw them. And it's kind of weird when you got a guy like Walker, who is kind of a goofy guy who acts crazy in there, against a guy that just is dead serious. So it kind of makes for an interesting matchup, because Walker's going to try crazy shit and Ankalaev is just going to be basically in there in kill mode. But Walker might succeed if Walker can get Ankalaev to get pissed off or bait him in on something. There's also, I think, a lot of pressure on Ankalaev because everyone expected he would be champion sometime soon, and he's had these 2 fights that, one where he's disqualified for an illegal knee, which is an accident, but that turns out not to be a victory. His fight before that, most of us thought he won, but it was close enough. I guess the judges made it a draw. So I think Ankalaev's got something to prove here, but you're right. Walker is going to be more relaxed. I think more pressure is on Ankalaev, and Walker can do his unorthodox, weird, crazy stuff. As the taller fighter, he may throw Ankalaev, because Ankalaev's used to being the taller fighter. I remember in that great fight when Ankalaev fought Yuan Kutalaba, and Kutalaba was really trying to mad dog him. Just coming in there crazy, getting in his face, and Ankalaev is just a stone killer, so he didn't let it throw him. And then Kutalaba ran across the cage trying to just beat the fuck out of him, throwing everything in the book. And Ankalaev is like, good man, throw that shit, big man. And they're throwing and throwing. They're beating the brakes off each other. Yep. And then Ankalaev, taking the win. So when Ankalaev gets motivated, he can beat anyone. The one thing is, it seems like in his last two fights, he just like was almost a little bit too relaxed, And I think the reality is, yeah, he needs to get in there. He needs to get in there.
He needs to get in there and get his
aggressive.
shit together.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what he's going to plan to do. Anyway, I know that Trevor, you can find Trevor on social media. He used to be at Colin Force Adventures and Mega Squad Colin, but I think one of those is gone now,
Oh
right?
my God.
Did you have the one is gone? You can no longer be Colin Force Adventures, or is it the other one? Let people know.
Well, first of all, my social medias are all good. Instagram and Twitter are all good at Mega Squad Trevor, and my Instagram is Trevor Force Adventures, but sadly to say that my YouTube channel got fucking terminated by YouTube, which was kind of stupid, and I think one of the trolls on my channel really effed it up. So you guys can find me at Trevor's World of Trains on YouTube, but otherwise, and I don't want to forget about the lovely Facebook at Trevor Carnes.
Yes,
you guys can find me over there. Speaking about, it's right here. So yeah, my name's right there. So you can go search me up on Facebook.
Absolutely. Well, Trevor, since they terminated you, I think now I need to dub you the Terminator. That's what I'm going to say next time we're going to do the show.
One of these times, I'm going to up one of my trolls' channels if they keep up this shit.
Exactly, but I think that is a good name for you. Next time you guys watch us, I'm going to say Colin Crandall here with my nephew Trevor the Terminator Carnes. That's it.
Shit. That's what I should have named my channel, but oh well.
That's all right. Well, you'll be known as Trevor. In fact, and next time we got to put, if you can put in your name, and when we do the Zoom, Trevor, and then put the Terminator Carnes. I like that. That'll be good. I don't know if they let us put extra names. Maybe they don't. Probably they don't. But anyway, that's about it. You guys know where to find me at Colin Crandall, MMA, Colin Crandall 33, wherever you look. Haven't done much the last month and a half, but we're going to try to come back strong here in 2024. And it's going to be X mostly. Oh, yeah? And
say that again.
X. It'll be X a little bit.
Got it.
Yep. And then it's going to be maybe a little bit of Instagram, some Facebook, and some YouTube. And we'll be rocking in the free world with the fight predictions. You can always count. You can always count on Trevor and I.
Are you sure you want to say that again?
Yes, that's it. Yep. Trevor the Terminator Cards. I love it. You did it. That's awesome. That is it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the first look. We'll probably come back to you in about a week or so when it gets closer to that fight to do maybe a little bit more in-depth predictions and fleshing out rather what we think is going to happen.
Well, hey, I mean, our videos might be up late, but
yeah.
I mean, we're filming this on New Year's Day, so
yes, we are. Yeah, so that's why it's a first look for the January 13th card. Yep, is that a January 13th?
4 hours for me. It's going to be the end of New Year's. Oh my God,
that's it. Yep,
almost 9:30 for me.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad to have the Terminator, Trevor Carnes, my nephew here, and God bless, man. He's getting the MMA down, man. He's becoming the expert. He is the Terminator. And for now, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wish you guys a happy New Year. We'll be back for a more detailed look on the UFC Fight Night 234, Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker, and we'll take it from there. So happy New Year to you all. Peace and love and respect.
Yeah.
And for the Terminator, Trevor Carnes, my nephew, this is Colin Crandall, your MMA professor. I'll put that in next time. For the MMA professor and the Terminator, we will see you guys next time. Peace.
Gotta watch out.
Watch out.
But, yeah.
Peace.
Watch out for me.
That's it.